So let's formally introduce this thing. What exactly is the book of Genesis, and why is it so crucial for understanding everything that follows in the biblical story? Well, the title itself is a dead giveaway. The word Genesis comes right from the Greek for origin. So this book is all about beginnings, the beginning of the universe, of life, of humanity, and, this is key, the beginning of a special relationship between God and a particular people. To put it into context, Genesis is book one of a five-part series called the Torah, or the Pentateuch. Now, tradition says it was written by the Israelite leader Moses, probably sometime between 1400 and 1200 BC, and the whole point was to give the people of Israel their identity, to say, hey, this is where you came from, and this is the incredible divine plan you're a part of. The book doesn't start with people, though. It starts with creation itself. It paints this picture of a perfect, beautiful world, and then introduces a single moment, a single choice that changes everything forever. So the story unfolds over 6 days of creation, moving in this really orderly way from forming the basics of the universe to filling it with life. It all builds up to this grand finale on day 6, the creation of humanity, made in God's own image to partner with him in caring for this new world. And these first humans, Adam and Eve, are placed in a paradise, the Garden of Eden. It's described as a place of just total harmony, where they have this direct, unbroken relationship with their creator. Life is good. But that harmony gets completely shattered. See, Adam and Eve are given one single rule. Don't eat from one particular tree. And, well, they do. And that one act of disobedience introduces sin into the world, creating this fundamental break between humanity and God. The fallout is immediate and catastrophic. Unity is replaced by separation. Life and purpose are replaced with hardship and death. Harmony gives way to conflict. This moment is what's known as the fall. And what comes next isn't a slow decline. It is a rapid, tragic nosedive. The consequences of that broken relationship just escalate, pulling humanity deeper and deeper into darkness. I mean, check this out. In the very next generation, we get the first murder. Adam and Eve's son, Cain, gets so consumed by jealousy that he kills his own brother, Abel. It shows just how fast the poison spread, from disobeying God to humans committing violence against each other. From there, things get so bad that the whole earth is described as being corrupt and full of violence. So God decides to hit the reset button. He chooses one man who is still righteous, Noah, and tells him to build a giant ark to save his family and the animals from a world-covering flood. After the floodwaters go down, God makes a solemn promise, a covenant with all of humanity. This is a huge theme in the Bible, this idea of a sacred, binding agreement. He puts a rainbow in the sky as a sign that he'll never again destroy the world with a flood. It's this beautiful picture of divine faithfulness, even after human failure. But, humanity's pride is a stubborn thing. Not long after, Noah's descendants all get together to build a massive tower, the Tower of Babel, to make a name for themselves, to reach the heavens on their own terms. God sees this arrogance, confuses their languages, and scatters them all over the earth. And this story is presented as the origin of all the different nations and languages we have today. So after all this chaos and scattering, the narrative of Genesis makes this incredible pivot. It's like the camera zooms from a wide shot of all humanity and focuses tightly on just one man and his family. And this is the turning point of the whole book. God calls a man named Abraham and makes a new covenant with him. He gives him a 3-part promise. I'll give you land, I'll make you into a great nation, and through you, I'm going to bless the entire world. This one promise becomes the engine that drives the rest of the biblical story forward. Now, Abraham's faith in this promise gets put through the ringer. The most intense moment comes when God asks him to sacrifice his son, Isaac, the very kid the promise was supposed to come through. And Abraham trusts God and is about to do it, but at the very last second, God stops him and provides a ram instead. It's just a crazy, powerful story about trust. So from this point on, Genesis becomes the family saga of Abraham. And listen, it is a messy, complicated, and very human story. These are not perfect people. But through all their fights and their flaws, God's promise keeps getting carried forward. The promise passes from Abraham to his son Isaac. Then it goes to Isaac's son, Jacob, a real trickster who literally wrestles with God one night and gets his name changed to Israel. And Jacob's 12 sons, they become the ancestors of the 12 tribes that will eventually form the nation of Israel. The final major section of Genesis zooms in on one of those 12 sons, Joseph. He's the favorite, he's a bit arrogant about it, and his brothers get so jealous that they sell him into slavery in Egypt. What looks like a total tragedy is actually setting the stage for something incredible. Joseph's story is a wild roller coaster. He's betrayed, thrown in prison, but his ability to interpret dreams for the Pharaoh of Egypt catapults him to becoming the second most powerful man in the country. And he uses that power to save the whole region from a devastating famine, including the very brothers who sold him. It's this amazing picture of how God can take human evil and turn it into something good. So the book closes with Joseph forgiving his brothers and bringing the whole family, the very beginnings of the nation of Israel, to live safely in Egypt. It's no accident. Genesis ends by perfectly teeing up the next book in the Bible, the story of the Exodus. And so Genesis leaves us right here. One family, safe in a foreign land, holding on to a world-changing promise from God. And the question it leaves hanging in the air is a big one. How is this all going to play out? How will this small clan become the great nation they were promised to be? Well, that's a story for another time.